Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Sacred Geography, and Shinrin Yoku, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Tuesday, November 28th, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 2023. A near X-class solar flare coming in at M9.8 is directly Earth-facing, and guess what? Yeah, it's headed our way in a big way. High-level geomagnetic storms. I'm looking at G3 here. Could go higher. Keep calm. It's boom time. Heavy lake effect snow buries parts of New York, Pennsylvania, and Ohio. 1 to 2 feet of snow has fallen downwind of Lakes Erie and Ontario, and it's not over yet. In fact, it's not even winter. Snow causes multi-vehicle wreck on the Ohio freeway. It was devastating. Take a look at the situation here. A pileup involving 13 vehicles Tuesday morning closed northbound lanes on a snowy stretch of Interstate 271 south of Cleveland. There you can see some of the footage from those people that were able to actually get by in the opposing lane.
Americans are in the path of another round of wintry weather with heavy snow in parts of the Northeast and freeze warnings as far south as Florida. CBS's Elaine Kahana reports from a snowy central New York.
There were whiteout conditions across parts of the Midwest and Northeast as the first major snow of the season dropped up to 2 feet in some places.
I think it's great. It's a nice change of pace for us. You know, we're a little overdue.
In Ohio, at least 20 vehicles were involved in a pair of pileups on Interstate 271 near Cleveland, blamed on blinding snow squalls. More than 100 schools closed there today because of the weather. In New York, airport crews in Rochester were hard at work on the tarmac, de-icing planes before takeoff. And near Buffalo, thunder snow, as a lake effect mix of cold air, unpredictable wind, and snow clogged roads and towns.
Oh, it was a little crazy. A foot of snow in the road for about 8 miles and slick when it was plowed.
As the snow fell, the plows, blowers, and shovels began the tough task of clearing it out.
This snowfall is kind of what we used to get. I miss it. Never bothered me.
Snow flurries dusted parts of Philadelphia and Baltimore. And late today, a holiday mishap outside the White House when a powerful gust of wind toppled the national Christmas tree.
Holy macaroni. The Christmas tree is down. What is that? A sign of the times? Who knows? Well, in our neck of the woods, Wolf Creek ski area got over 2 feet of the global warming goodness, and that means most of the mountain is open here early. We usually don't open till around Christmas. After all, we are down below 40 degrees. And lake effect snow Tuesday night in central New York is going to move northward by dawn, which is good news as the snow has piled up over 23 inches in many areas. And more good news coming as needed rain is coming to the south with potential for severe thunderstorms in Texas and Louisiana. And that's going to be Thursday. Here's your severe storm threat from Victoria all the way up through College Station, down through Jasper and Lake Charles. You guys, Galveston in the center of the bullseye. Here's the full forecast. Lake effect snow continues. Heavy rainfall potential for Hawaii. Heavy lake effect snow continues downwind of the Great Lakes, resulting in difficult travel conditions. We did see that pile up earlier this morning. Meanwhile, colder air is sliding southward towards the southeast portions of the country where freeze warnings are in effect. Take a look all the way down into Florida. Could be an iguana apocalypse before winter. But I do digress. Air stagnation concerns linger for the interior Pacific Northwest, and a low-pressure area developing near Hawaii may bring heavy rainfall and flooding through midweek. And you know what that means. Flooding. Let's take a look at the GFS model for total snow in the U.S. There you can see the system in the Northeast lingering through Wednesday, and it will move offshore. So a little additional lake effect snow could affect upstate New York, northern PA, as well as western New York. And there is some lingering snow for Vermont, New Hampshire as well. And that is going to bring a system deep into the desert Southwest here. That is going to begin here on Thursday into Friday, bringing heavy snow to the higher elevations of central, western New Mexico, and eastern Arizona. Take a look at that. More snow moving into our region as the west gets pummeled with over 4 feet of snow showing up here for Washington State and Oregon. All the way down through the Sierras picking up snow, but 4 feet for Washington and Oregon through Monday, December 4th. And that's just a week away. So buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be a pretty impressive snow season. Shut up, Al. Get in your hole. Al Gore said we wouldn't see snow anymore, by the way. Now take a look at the freeze potential. There it is tonight. It is going to be dipping down at least into all the states in the southeast. Probably not as severe as predicted the way I'm looking at here. This is the thermodynamic model. Not going to be that close to freezing in Florida, but right on the cusp. Maybe some wind chills there. And what I noted here is that the temperature is actually going to moderate for all of mid-December here. Not a real cool down. Average late fall, early winter conditions until we get into mid-December here before any real cold comes into the picture. Minus 23 in eastern Canada by mid-December. And it's my prediction by mid-December we should have snow in almost all 50 states headed into the whitest Christmas in some time. And that certainly will piss off Al. Now, all 41 trapped Indian tunnel workers dramatically pulled to safety over the last 24 hours. They had been stuck down there for 17 days. Well, and it was glorious. Let's take a look.
And 17 past the hour. We're turning now to breaking news. It's coming right out of India as we speak. Just moments ago, government officials said all 41 miners trapped under a collapsed mountain tunnel have been rescued. The group had been stuck underground since the 12th of this month when the tunnel caved in. Joining us now, NBC News 4 correspondent Megan Fitzgerald. Megan, this is an incredible story. What's the latest?
Yeah, absolutely, Jose. I mean, after more than 2 weeks of being trapped inside that collapsed tunnel in northern India, as you mentioned, those construction workers just freed. Now, the rescue happening over the course of the last few hours, and rescue crews worked throughout the night manually digging through rocks and debris using handheld drills to try and reach these trapped workers. They had to resort to this into their hands after a drilling machine broke down. Now, these crews are working on this massive project aimed at connecting various sites together through this network of roads, but a landslide caused a portion of the nearly 3-mile-long tunnel to collapse. These guys survived off of food, water, and oxygen that was supplied through this narrow steel pipe. Ambulances, along with family and friends, of course, were waiting at the mouth of this tunnel to welcome these guys back. So a good story indeed, Jose.
Unbelievable. Megan Fitzgerald, thank you very much.
What a beautiful feel-good story. We really don't have things like this happening in the media, and our hearts and our prayers go out to those rescued and those that were waiting. And this is really good news. We don't typically see good news about trapped miners or anyone in tunnels. And so really good news coming out today. After all, seismic update. A few quakes of note. We had some pretty significant rumblers on the Ring of Fire today. You can see a significant uptick, moderate uptick worldwide. No major quakes. We did have one larger quake, I believe, in Indonesia with no tsunami warning, or was it Papua New Guinea? That is now off the map, not in the 24 hours. We do have a 5.1 in the Barbados region. This is interesting. It's near Kikum-Jenny, which is more like over here, but still in a volcanically active region near Barbados. So we'll keep a close eye on that for you as we monitor all of the world, because you don't have time to. Now, Krakatoa is still puffing and passing. Short-lived but violent paroxysms continue. This is the third day of explosions going on, and they are quite significant. We also have visual field observations of Semeru today. Lava dome continues to grow, and risk of pyroclastic flows remain high. Once this dome gets big enough, it shoots down out here to the left. Normal activity worldwide. Reventador to 14,000. We've got Santa Huito to 15,000 feet. Krakatoa 7,000 feet with its third blast in 3 days. Popo to 26,000. That's quite significant for Popo. 14,000 feet for Fuego, Liwotolo, 7,000 feet today, Sangay, 20,000, Semaru, 14. And take a look, more Krakatoa just recently, moments ago, powerful explosions continue. And the story continues at the Reykjanes Peninsula. Around midnight from 26th to the 27th of November, there was a short-lived seismic tremor which commenced. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. Let's take a look at the seismic activity on the peninsula right now. Here we are, and I just updated it. There is some earthquake activity now happening along the dike, which, there it is right there, may mean that, well, the threat of eruption, continued likelihood of an eruption is continuing. Activity is still located primarily near Slingafell and Hagafell. Say that 3 times fast. A short-lived seismic swarm last night started at around midnight. 170 earthquakes were detected, the largest in M3. The uplift continues, but no lava is on the surface. As we take our eyes over to the sun, a major flare directly earth-facing, like no solar flare since perhaps April of this year. And there it is. Barely an X flare. In fact, it wasn't. It was an M9.8. But it was sub-long duration, meaning not short duration, not impulsive, but lasted for about an hour. About an hour up here at the high M range. And this is all coming from an active region that is, let's take a look at the latest HMI intensity, directly facing Earth now. So for another day, this will be another eruptive threat for a day or so. And this is active region, I believe. Let's take a look, 3,500 right there. So we've got another day or so while this is geo-effective and pump out more flares perhaps. But it appears as if the sun has gone quiet again. There's one little secondary boom there in a C range. This is the one we're looking at. And this is going to be coupled with a plasma filament and many other things headed our way. And we're going to check all of those events out. Take a look at all 3 events. A few CMEs, a filament, and now the near X flare. We may all line up to bring us quite a show. Look at the size of this baby. This is the latest ISWA update. And it is showing, take a look, here is the Earth. Look at the density when it comes through there. Very high. And that's going to be happening sometime near December 1st. So buckle up, Buttercup, because this is what we're dealing with. Full halo coronal mass ejection. Do you see it? Do you see it now? Are you picking it up? We just put it down. A halo coronal mass ejection directly faced out Earth blows out in all directions here on LASCO C2. Let's take a quick look over here at C3 and see if we see similar effects. We're having a little lag difficulty here. Could be an issue with our RAM. Wait for it. Boom! And there it is. There's the full halo CME. And that means this baby is headed directly towards us. And that means a few things, that this ISWA model is probably correct. And the major density, this is the first time in a long time where we are going to get the direct brunt of a coronal mass ejection. Could bring, there it is. There's the update for December 1st. Let's take a look. It's showing, yes, G2 geomagnetic storm. Our forecast is for G3. And the reason is we think that this event is going to slide a little bit over here and meet up with this event, and then we're going to get a bigger event. Yes. But the 3-day geomagnetic and aurora forecast from the powers that be now updated just in the last moments, it wasn't this high, to G2 geomagnetic storm. That could mean we could have some perturbations in our internets and maybe some communication issues. So stay tuned for updates as the largest solar storm in quite some time, well, is headed our way. December 1st. Remember I said a December to remember. Well, this is just the beginning, and it's looking like a boom. Coming out, fear-mongering from physics.org. Extreme rainfall increases exponentially with global warming. It's all your fault, folks, according to a new study. The problem with the study is it's not based on reality. It's based on constraining the pattern and magnitude of projected extreme precipitation in a multi-model ensemble. Yeah, they made up a computer model to say that they're right. I am sick of science. What we know is that the Tonga eruption blasted unprecedented amounts of water into the stratosphere, increasing the moisture in that realm, which creates weather, by over 10%, maybe upwards of 14% for the entire world. Those are the facts, and why they won't accept them, well, why this is still highlighted is anyone's guess. Okay, give it to me. There we go. It's like magic. Did you know that temperature and CO2 are related? Yeah, but it's not like they want you to believe. They claim that CO2 that we create is making Earth warmer, when it couldn't be further from the truth. A paper coming out, well, a long time ago, and we're going to link you to it in a moment, shows clearly that temperature is the driver of CO2 and not the other way around. In fact, in this paper, they prove there is an 800-year lag between CO2 and temperature. The timing of atmospheric CO2 and Antarctic temperature changes across Termination 3. All the links will be below. So go get them. A strange rock carving greeted early explorers of West Virginia. And this is what's interesting. When pioneers and other explorers first ventured into what would become West Virginia, they encountered artifacts of a much earlier age. Carvings, burial mounds, and stone walls, the origins of which natives themselves could not explain with certainty. Our history has been hidden. The question is why? Maybe this could answer it. Some of the largest magnetic excursions since the actual polar flip, the Brunus Matayama, happening 780,000 years ago. We've had the Big Lost Emperor, the Jamaica Pringle Falls, the Blake Excursion, and the Lechamp. These are all mass extinctions. And are we headed into the next one? Well, the dipole field strength is now dropping well below 6. So we're now down here, which is lower than the last magnetic excursion back in the time of the flood of Noah. Now you Noah. Good news, solar maximum is going to coincide with April's total solar eclipse, and it's going to bring unique views of the sun's corona. With the solar cycle set to peak earlier than predicted, the sun's corona should look its spectacular, spiky best for April 8th's total solar eclipse. This isn't a penumbral letdown. This is the real deal, kids. And if you can get out to see it as it makes totality across a swath of the U.S. for thousands of miles, I suggest you do, because the end of the world is afoot. So why not go out with a bang? Put this on your bucket list and just check it off, because, well, this may be the day it ends. Now, in this image, it shows the solar corona during totality close to solar max or solar minimum in 2017. And the good news is we'll be at solar max. So go get it. Go out there and get it. And we went and got it this morning. We had an amazing interview with Micah Dank on his YouTube channel, Micah Dank Truth Bombs. That was pretty embarrassing. Where we talked about climate, conspiracy theories, the end of the world, magnetic excursions, why all the elites are making bunkers, and maybe, just maybe, is there hope for the future? Check it out. Our interview will be up tomorrow morning on Micah Dank Truth Bombs, and that's a boom. For Micah Dank Truth Bombs, booms. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share this with like-minded people. Hit the thumbs up. It's free, and it helps with the algorithm. We love each and every one of you. Be safe, and that is a boom. Meow, meow.